Friends and family, big up on yourselves and welcome to another edition of Just Reasoning Live. C-Dub, text, especially you gone dark again. You get black so quick, man. What happened to you, man?
Seriously?
Yeah, man, you get...
Gone too far now.
The longer we talk, the blacker you get. As you see, especially is over in Dubai someplace, because it's 9 o'clock at night and look how it's bright out there. So
yeah, man.
Enjoy
They're on the
yourself.
sun dune.
Yeah, man. Man, whole lot of things going on, man. This show was, you know, I don't know. It's so much things going on in the world. I just had to sit down and just think about everything that's going on. There's a lot of things that we have to cover. Let's start off with the fastest man in the world. Fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. As fast as the man can run, can't outrun Corona. so well, it's not funny, but Usain Bolt,
no, it's not.
Was this? I think it's like Monday or so this week. I got an alert on my phone say he tested positive for COVID. I was shocked just hearing the news. But so after I posted it, I hear a lot of people saying basically, serve you right. I'm like, whoa, what's up with that response? Apparently he just had a big birthday party. I think he just turned 34 or something like that. And his wife threw a party for him. It was outdoors, but you see a bunch of people out there, nobody had on masks, and everybody having a good time. And we don't know if that was the incident. I mean, the way this thing go, he could have gotten that, at the grocery shop. Who knows? But when people see that video of him out and partying and vibing with everybody else, nobody have on mask, some people don't feel any sympathy at all, right? So, he say he's not suffering from any symptoms, but it's unfortunate. So what do y'all say about the big man Bolt who can run so fast but him can't outrun Corona?
I mean, the first point I want to make is you said you were surprised that he got it. I'm not. If you follow Usain throughout his career, he's a partier. I mean, any chance he gets to get outside of,
I like
or just get
too.
relief. I'm just saying, get relief.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about even during track season when, none of that's supposed to be going on. If there's a party going on, he gonna be there. I mean, you see him at carnivals and stuff like that. I mean, he's just a, happy, fun-loving guy. So I'm not surprised at all. Now,
well, everybody did surprise all him because me see a
surprise
video.
what?
Yeah.
Me see a video where him say boy up on TV and the media him say him positive.
So that's another aspect of this, which I don't even understand that. So he took the test. He knew he took the test, but
didn't get the results yet.
Out he was positive on
TV.
social media.
That's
That
right.
don't make any sense. So before they tell him, them run to the media and say, "Hey, Bolt positive."
That's news. It's a check.
But tell the man first.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean,
a lack of respect that them channels
Here
need
that would
to tighten
be
up.
a big lawsuit. Just give out the man private medical information.
Yeah, you can't. You
can't do that.
Would lock up all of our people for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that Bolt is out partying, but it's just like when you hear, it's when you hear anybody famous, even though so many people have died. I think like 180,000 in the U.S. have died. But it's when a famous name is attached to it, just like Herman Cain. When he caught it the other day and then ultimately died, it's almost like it maybe a few big name people need to really get affected for some people to take it seriously. We obviously, hope, Bolt, recovers, but I still think a lot of people think that it's an older person's disease, or only certain people can get. Anybody can get it, and a lot of this we're still learning. So what doctors think today tomorrow it might change. They said kids could get it. Now the next time they say, okay, there are some kids can't get it. People just don't really know.
Yeah, so, now schools are shut down.
Yeah, teacher quit they now go to school because they pitting them have the COVID and they don't want to catch it.
Yeah, so I mean there are a few schools like University of North Carolina. They started school back with everybody on campus. Then they had to shut down where they go on full virtual. That's going to happen in some other cases. You know what I mean? It's I don't know, man. This is a weird time. But somebody else was saying that so I think Jamaica has some, I don't know the exact rule, but you can't have a party of more than like 20 people. And Prime Minister was saying that they have actually fined the people for breaking the code, and apparently Bolt was breaking the code by them other people that were there. People are saying he should be prosecuted, and it's not really just it's more so because of the position that he holds. For one, it is the law, but also the position that he holds, and he is somebody that people look up to. And when you're out there doing your own thing, then that has an impact. When I party, millions of people not seeing me party, but when he does, they do. So it comes responsibility to come with that platform. So it's unfortunate, but he said he's asymptomatic, so hopefully all is well. Get well, big man. Run out like a faster next time. I know.
His running days are over. His running days are over.
And congrats on the new youth too.
Yes, man. Yeah, man.
Before you even switch topics, I think you sent it to me or you posted it in the Just Reasoning chat room. But there was a headline that the fastest man caught COVID. And the picture was of who?
Yeah.
None other than Kevin Hart. How in the HE double hockey sticks do you mix up Kevin Hart, which is 5 foot,
and not very fast, if I might add,
and not athletic in a whole nother industry?
No, he can't play like a basketball, man. You see that? But
I'm talking about
he can't run.
Exactly.
He can't run.
Versus
Bolt is what, 6'5", 6'5"?
Yeah, he's like 6'5", 6'6", something like that. Yeah. How do you mix those two brothers? I mean, okay, we all look alike. We know that. Okay, but come on now. And it was on CSNBC or something like that. It was like a major platform.
It wasn't something like a bootleg thing. It was like NBC or
NBC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, y'all are ridiculous.
I think there's some people, they just go out and Google black man in a suit or famous black man and just grab the first picture and put them up. Just like when John Lewis died. Well, first Elijah Cummings died, and people say him and John Lewis look alike. So Elijah Cummings died first, and a lot of people are posting images of John Lewis.
Yeah, I remember
still
that.
Alive at the time.
Yeah.
And then months later, when John Lewis died, now they put Elijah Cummings picture. I don't know. We all look alike.
In dead twice.
Exactly. Just like me, especially two of us on the beach here right now. Some people probably think we look alike. Yeah, man. He's in Dubai. I'm in Kuwait. That beach over there.
No, that look like St. Thomas, That look like St. Thomas, right?
Beach
there.
white.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So get well, brother. Usain Bolt. Kick this thing, and
and Kevin Hart, wherever you are.
And Kevin Hart, yeah, they just threw Corona on you, Kevin Hart. Anyway, so there you go. As I say, there's a whole heap of things going on, man. So here we are, this is Wednesday night, the August 26th, and we are planned for a big hurricane to hit tonight. And the way these things, the way 2020 going on, with the pandemic and economic stuff and police shootings and this and that, we know that as we come up on hurricane season now, that things the way 2020 going on, it could really mash things up. So when people said 2 hurricanes are in the Gulf, then we have to like really get ready for it. So, luckily, one of them, I guess it kind of went Florida way. Where did the first one go? But it didn't really affect this area.
Marco,
yeah.
Yeah. And then Laura, it's supposed to hit tonight, but it kind of moved a little east, so it's going to hit Lake Charles, right? So we won't get a direct hit. We'll probably get a lot of rain and that sort of thing, but this could
mostly
be
wind.
But they say this could be really, really bad for. I think I said something like
category 2. 3 or 4.
Yeah,
that's what they worried about.
Category 4, but the other thing, which I hear them say this term all the time, but I didn't really know what it means. The storm surge. They said the storm surge is going to be about 15 feet. And so the way I heard a weatherman explain it is like, imagine yourself standing on the beach, with your foot there on the sand and where the water is. You just imagine that water being 15 feet higher. It's like storm surge. Yeah. And so I say Lake Charles, where it's supposed to hit, the worst storm they've gotten, they had a storm surge of about 13 feet. And they say with 13 feet, that kind of that flooded half the city. And so this is expected to be, a few feet more, so it could flood the entire city. You know what I mean? So
let's pray it's not.
So we pray for everybody in the path in Lake Charles and Beaumont, Port Arthur area.
Yeah.
And the other thing about this is, with this being in a pandemic and the social distancing, and when people evacuate, how that going to work, right? If you have to put a bunch of people in a convention center, of all ages, old people, young people. That could just make things 1,000 times
worse. With the pandemic. Well, what happened is they've been evacuating people since Monday. People been going to places like San Antonio, because this morning I saw on the news where San Antonio said they weren't taking anybody else. Right, but
block off San Antonio.
That was because they thought.
No more. Come on, San Antonio, do better.
But after when the governor spoke about 2:00, he was saying that because they had double booked a lot of the rooms, they thought San Antonio was full. So their governor their mayor was saying, hey, you can still send some more people. So they're using hotels in San Antonio, around San Antonio, to fill, these people evacuating. They don't have space. I mean, Galveston never really did have a whole lot of people anyway. So
that is true.
So San Antonio, a big city, they can handle it, man. They handle it.
They just go a little further north, up to Dallas or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That's hey, we also run around yesterday getting all our thing that I got a generator a few months ago, but text sent me that message up, so I went and I didn't have a gas canister, so I'm going to at least get one of those. Right. We just don't know what's going to happen, so. Yeah. But, and of course, wifey go and buy out the whole of Walmart and Dollar Store. So,
really?
Yeah, so, hey, if anybody in Lake Charles need anything, link me.
Really? They don't want no bully beef, man.
Sardine.
Yeah. They don't want no sardine and bully beef, man.
Bully beef, sardine, tin mackerel, whatever you want.
Yeah. And a good food them too,
I hear, of course. I hear somebody said, with everything going on in 2020, we're just looking for the swarm of locusts now. I mean, it's some biblical things going on, man. So I don't know how much more we can take, but
But I tell you what, we're all a lot tougher for it, because when these hurricanes, when they started talking about these hurricanes, we're like, oh, well, let's get ready.
Exactly. It's like, hey,
it's what it is.
We've been through all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So
and it's still early, It's still early in the season.
Yeah, it's early in the season.
That's the thing. Yeah, this was like the first, like real storm.
Real threats.
Yeah.
So we usually have at least 2 or 3 threats
Yeah,
throughout
September,
season.
September, October.
Yeah.
And
Watch
you
out.
know, people who are in the know saying just based on climate conditions or whatever, saying that this, you know, could be one of the worst hurricanes. You know, we don't claim that,
I've heard that too.
but you know, get ready. You know, prepare, man. So revisit a few topics of, you know, when we first started. Just reading some of the things that it's probably like right in the aftermath of the George Floyd murder, and you know, as tragic as that was, and basically we've had pretty much non-stop protests and stuff in certain areas ever since that incident, and as we have seen as a result of a few recent incidents, nothing changed. The same thing going on. I mean, people have protested peacefully. People have burned. They have looted. They have done it all. But all that stuff that has gotten a lot of media attention hasn't changed the things that need to change. And so it's like it certainly hasn't changed the police behavior, which is what needs to change. And so, you know, just a couple recent incidents, like in Lafayette, Louisiana, a few days ago, there's a black man. I don't know what was going on, but he had a knife or something, right? And police, I don't know the background of what happened, but he was walking with a knife away from the police. He was walking away from them, and I guess they're telling him to stop, and he's steady walking away from them, not turning to them, threatening them, anything. He's walking away. And then he opens the door to walk inside a convenience store, and as soon as he does that, 10 shots in the man back, kill him. You know, so, you know, again, it's not like he was coming towards them with the knife. He was walking away from them. They shot the man in the back 10 times and killed him. And then the other incident with Jacob Blake in Wisconsin, where, and I don't know what started this whole thing, but apparently he was breaking up a fight between two women.
Right. That's what the report was.
Right. Yeah. Right. And once I saw, from where I've seen the video started, I saw the man walking away, walking to his truck where his 3 sons were. 3 kids are in there. Police are holding him by his shirt, and he keeps walking, and the man opened the door, and then they shot the man in the back 7 times. 7 times. You know, if you do that, you're looking to kill this man. I don't know how this man is alive. He's alive today. His family said he is probably going to be paralyzed. He's paralyzed right now. Whether or not he recovers from that.
There was an update on that before you finish. They had some good news on that. They think it's just because of the swelling and stuff that's going on. But
that's putting
when it goes down,
it's
putting pressure on his spine. So once that goes down, he probably will be able to walk again. So thank God for that.
Man, that's that deserves a praise break, because if you see that video, somebody like this close to him, point blank, shot the man in the back 7 times, and for him to be alive, possibly be able to walk again, man. Yeah. So
you know, Tex said it best one time. You know, these cops out there are scared, and if they are that scared, they shouldn't be a police. You know, and I wholeheartedly agree with Tex. You can't be a cop if you're out there scared like that.
Come on now, think about it realistically, and I'm just being real. The kids that we grew up with that became cops weren't Jack in high school. You know what I mean? They were the scared ones, and not, I'm not to say all of them, but the ones that I know and come in contact with, not all of them, but they were. And you know, it's basically a position of power, you know, to them, and it is a power struggle. There's not one situation that I've seen where a black man has gotten killed where they couldn't have done it a different way. And they have tasers, okay? And I've seen multiple videos of same situation, white person, people, you know, where they're actually coming at the police, trying to
chasing them, chasing them
down, stealing the cop cars, doing all the kind of stuff, and not even a taser comes out. Okay, but 9 times out of 10, when it's a black person and them walking away, it's come on now, we get shot in the back. You know what I'm saying? You kneel on a man for 7 minutes until he dies. I'm just getting pissed off thinking about it, but it just could be done differently. Period.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm somebody. I'm a glass half full type of person. I see hope in everything. In generally speaking, the more and more of these incidents that happen, I'm kind of losing hope that this will ever get better, because I really do not know what it will take to bring about a change. They're not listening to our voices. They're not listening to us burning down their damn police stations in Minnesota. That's the same thing going on. So it's like it's hard for me to see what brings about this change.
The light at the end of the
tunnel. Well, one of the reasons why it's not getting any better is because of our leaders. So whenever we have a tragedy like this, and we demonstrate and we loot, all they do is equip the cops with more dangerous weapons. That's all they do. So before, they just added, SWAT back in the 70s. Now you see cops coming out in military gear, military trucks, right, to handle a regular protest. Right? It's just getting worse. What's next? They're gonna give them artillery. They're gonna give them rocket launchers. What is next? I mean,
why not?
But here's a topic we touched on before as well. The cops aren't being held accountable. Let's be real.
Yeah, because of the leaders.
Let's be real. Breonna Taylor, we're still calling for justice for her. Okay. The Wisconsin situation, I don't see any charges being filed for that cop. So until these cops are held accountable and they feel like they can lose their job or lose their livelihood, nothing is going to change. And there needs to be some serious, training.
As I said, it goes back to the leadership, because all these cops do, you hear they get fired, but what they don't tell you is that they can just go to the precinct next door.
Go to another police station.
Right. And they're fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you hear that cops are allowed to purge their own files, they can go through on what they don't want in their file.
Delete that.
They can purge it. I've never heard anything so stupid in all my life.
You can't do that on your credit report. Just
no, you can't even do that to a regular job.
I have a
9,000. So these police captains telling these cops, hey, if you have something bad in your file, now's the time to get it out, because they're cracking down on us.
That's my first time even hearing that. That's madness.
Yeah, so people are like, what? And then you have reports on how difficult it is to file reports on cops.
Yeah.
Because when you go there, they intimidate you so much that they turn you off or even scare you into thinking, hey, you can file some kind of complaint on them.
Yeah, but
this is how it is.
Doing hit on it just now. Of all the things that we talk about, I really do think we can talk about training and all these things. Probably one of the most important things is accountability. Think about anything else that you do, any kind of wrong that you do. If you are allowed to get away with it, you will keep on doing it.
Yes,
from our children on. So
right.
As long as they keep doing the stuff and there's no consequence. There's no long life sentences in jail. No, you broke them financially where they have to pay out of pocket, not the city's tax money. You pay personally out of your pocket. Until we ruin a few cops' lives and their families' lives and imprison them for life, and a bunch of high-profile examples are made out of people, this isn't going to change.
Right.
And the other thing is because these are kind of city by city. You know, one city can have a certain policy, another city next door can have a different policy.
Yes.
We
Precinct too. Different precincts
federal,
have their own.
Yeah, you're right.
Like nationally, national policies around this stuff. You know, so really, so you know, I like I said, I'll try to keep up the hope as far as, you know, what the things that we need to do. But until, you know, we make those sorts of changes where cops start paying with their well-being and their
livelihood,
with their livelihood, and until that happens, you know, these cops, they're not thinking twice. You know, if in the back of your mind you're thinking, oh well, the thing happening was, you know, in Minnesota, that cop got life and his family is ruined forever, then you got to think twice before you draw your gun and shoot a man in the back. You know, but since, you know, like you know your police chief going to have your back. Your union going to have your
union is going to have your back.
Yeah, so you don't think twice about it. You know what I mean?
And that BS, you know, most of them say, oh, you know, they feared for their life. While a man was walking away, how are you scared?
Yeah,
how are you scared?
And like with the Lafayette situation happened first, and that one has gotten a lot less coverage because the man had a knife, I guess, right? But you know, so I saw the video before I read an article about it. So just looking at the video, I'm like, what the hell is that? I mean, that's clearly wrong. But when I read the article about it and read what the police saying, like, he had a knife.
They're trying to justify it. Yeah.
He was going in a convenience store, threatening the life of others. First of all, you don't know what the man was going to do because all he did was open the door, and you kill him before he even walk in there. You know, so
it's frustrating, brothers.
They're too protected, and until we have the leaders, deciding, hey, we're gonna have to cut down on what these cops are doing, and we're gonna have to hold them accountable. They won't change. They have no need to change because it's a culture. They'll tell you that, oh, we don't really train people to kneel in people's neck. That's not true. Because if it was
I see it done
all the time.
All the time, exactly.
And they're telling you, hey, this is not a training. We don't train them to do that. So where are they learning it?
Yeah.
All the cops learn it all at once. Where are they learning it?
New York, you know, Eric Garner. In Aurora, Elijah McClain, that young boy there who in his case, and his case hasn't gotten a lot of attention either. Where he was simply just walking down the streets, not accused of committing any crime. He had on, let's say he was an introvert or something, so he had a mask over his face, but he wasn't accused of committing a crime. Police walk up to him and like, you know, what you doing here with that mask? What you know, you're suspicious, and and then I guess they strangle him or something, and then he later, you know, passed out and died. They injected
him.
They injected him with something.
Yes.
So why the hell did they inject him?
I didn't even know cops could do that. I really didn't know.
What is that about?
Right? Well, it was supposed to be a drug where they said it'll calm you down. Something like
hell no.
I didn't even know they were allowed to do that.
Me neither.
No, right? that can't be legal.
I have never heard of police injecting anybody with anything.
Medical problems. That is what causes medical problems. And you know, but he was sick, and that was one of the reasons why he had covered his face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was sick. And they weren't trying to hear that. They're like, oh, you look suspicious. But when they showed the video of him in the grocery store, he didn't have the covering on. So he wasn't a threat to anybody. He wasn't trying to disguise his identity, right? It was just when he got outside, he put it on and was walking home. I think he went to the grocery store to buy something for his grandmother or something. And they killed him.
And again, he was not suspected of a crime. It's like, you know what? I don't like the way you look. You look suspicious. I mean, really, what if that were the criteria by which police can legally grab up anybody? And I don't like the way you look. You look suspicious. You know, that shirt you have on, you know, I don't know, that kind of look thuggish to me. So
happens all the time.
Actually, that's happened to me before. I've heard other cop pull me over and tell me that I look.
In their defense, you do look a little suspicious.
Really? In the shirt that I have on, right?
Yes. Yeah, but
right.
Thugs be wearing Nikes.
Yeah, because I mean, this happened to me. This happened to me in Bel Air. I was visiting a friend in Bel Air. I was coming back one night. The cop pulled me over and was like, "You look like
you." Them players,
But no, at the time I didn't even know it was like that.
Yeah,
And when I spoke, when I spoke to the person the next day, they were like, "Man, I don't even drive through there."
Yeah. I would love to hear people's stories about getting pulled over.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them out there.
Because I mean, I have several, and it wasn't because of what I was wearing; it was because what I was driving. You understand what I'm saying?
That's exactly it.
Rich people problems.
Come on, not even that. But the first question I got was, "Whose car is this?"
Is it? I got the same thing.
Like what?
The exact same thing.
Yeah.
The first question out of it: is this your car?
Yeah.
It was like, "This is registered to a gear. Is this your car?" What? I was so shocked. I was like, "What?" So he was like, "Oh, there's a lot of cars being stolen around this neighborhood." I was like, "Oh my god."
That's my rich cousin. So
I ain't driving no big Range Rover or nothing like that.
Range Rover. Like a cousin I know.
They have rich people problems. Oh man, but I have stories too. I mean, and the thing is, when you think about it, they can really pull you over for anything. So the one that immediately comes to mind, I was driving on, University of Texas campus, coming back from the computer lab. This was pre-laptop days and all that, so you have to go to the lab to do your work. And I was, up there all night, and I'm driving back, to my dorm at like 3:00 in the morning, and police just come and pull me over. I'm driving like a 1980 something Acura Integra, and they're and pulled me over and walk
red
up,
one.
Yeah. Walk up to me and it's like, what the hell are you doing on this campus at this hour? I'm like, I go to school here, and then ask me for my information, and then I like reach in for my for my insurance. That man draw his gun and point at me.
Oh Lord.
I'm like, so and that's the thing. The way those things that situation could have gone bad very fast.
Quickly, very quickly.
And then whose word is it going to be? It's going to be
cops.
his word against me, who's not even going to be here. You know what I mean? So that we give these people too much damn power, and they're just entitled, and they can do whatever, pull over whoever they want to pull over. And then
report whatever they feel like.
I said before that to falsify a police report should be you should get years in jail for that. So like if you look at the George Floyd police report, and then read the report versus what you saw in the video.
Yep.
The guy said he misremembered. I didn't even know that was a word.
Is that in the dictionary?
He misremembered. You did what?
The man said that they responded to the scene, and they I don't remember what reason that they make up, and then the suspect appeared to be under medical duress, and he later died. That's the story told. So without that video, that would be the story. We put him in handcuffs, and then he had some sort of seizure and just died.
Right before we beat his ass in the back of the patrol car.
Oh man. Anyway, so keep hope alive, people. Keep hope alive for me, because sometimes I kind of lose a little bit of it. Here, we talk about sports a lot on here on Just Reasoning. And today something happened that literally almost moved me to tears, man. So here we are in the middle of the NBA playoffs, and so I get an alert on my phone a few hours ago saying Milwaukee Bucks they're not going to play. I was like, okay, so I didn't really think much about it. so I went and looked it up. I'm like, man, they are boycotting. So Milwaukee with, Wisconsin, the same state where this Jacob, Blake situation happened, they decided they are boycotting. They are not going to play. And then after that, I hear that the Rockets and OKC, they're not going to play. And then the Lakers and the Blazers, they're not going to play. And then the WNBA games that were scheduled, they're not going to play. Some baseball teams, they are not going to play.
The Milwaukee Brewers.
The Milwaukee.
Yes.
So
they said no.
Like you would expect Milwaukee, but then like Seattle and they decided they're not going to play. And then I later saw how the Milwaukee Bucks, they got on a conference call with the Wisconsin Attorney General and Lieutenant Governor, stating why they're doing this and what they want to see as a result of this. And and something that we talked about on here before is the impact of sports in driving social change.
Yes.
And it was just, I don't know what will come out of this. I don't know where this will go. I don't have to go to start playing again tomorrow. I don't know. But for them to do this and put themselves out there like that, using their platform, they don't have a vote in the legislature in Wisconsin or what have you, but it's like, what we do have is our name,
influence,
our influence,
yes,
or money is tied up in all of this,
of course.
So we're going to use that platform, and it was just a proud moment. Like I said, I don't know where it will go, but for those brothers to do that, salute, man. That's that I heard somebody describe it as this will go down as the biggest single day of sports activism in history.
Well, I was happy to see it because I know when money start getting funny, they react and make it a little bit better. I'm not saying it's going to fix the problem, but it'll take us a nice little step in a direction to get this thing resolved, right? When they see that there are celebrities, big sports name behind this change, which wasn't happening before, I think we can push it, at least nudge it in a direction where we can see some level of change. Because these guys don't want to lose money. And every time these players don't play, they're losing a lot of money. Right? So they're going to use their influence. The players might not have the maximum influence, but the owners, they have some clout where they can influence
right there.
Certain change.
Hit the nail on the head right there.
And all these players know this. They know these guys are connected, all of them connected, right? They know they can push it in a direction where we need to stop having this stuff happening if we want to keep making money. So we have to say something, and we might have to do something too. So I think it's the better step in a direction where we want to go.
Yep.
So when I first I got on alert, just like Duff said, he got on his phone, and I was like, okay, Milwaukee's not going to play. But in that exact moment, I thought to myself, well, shit. Can I say that?
Beep.
Beep it out.
Yeah.
What about the other teams? That's exactly what I thought in that moment. Because if it was a situation where one team took a stand and the others didn't, it would have seemed like the NBA was divided. So when I heard that the Rockets weren't playing, I was like, okay. And then I did a little bit more research, and then I was like, okay, none of the NBA players are playing. None of the WNBA players are playing. The Brewers weren't playing, and a couple other teams weren't playing. I was like, you know what? This is awesome. This is something that we need. This is a step we need to take, because and I implore people, when you see somebody, one person take a stand, even if you don't agree with it, look at what they're doing. It is hard for one person to take a stand. Okay. Collectively, it's a lot easier. When a team,
of course,
a league, takes a stand, that is awesome. But I just want to bring that to people. When you see one person taking a stand, even if you don't agree with it, put yourself in their shoes. It takes strength, courage to do that. But and this is a big statement. And like especially said, you hit them in the pocket. As individuals, like the Greek Freak, he might not be able to might not be able to make a change, individually. But as a team, and that goes up to the owner, who has, I guarantee you, he has some senator or representative,
of course,
in his pocket, contributes millions of dollars in campaign funds. Those are the people that are going to make the difference. Okay, so once he goes, to his, Sunday brunch and has a conversation with who he needs to have a conversation with, then that's when the change happens. Because nobody wants to lose money, like especially said. Okay, nobody wants to lose money, especially them. And I just commend the NBA players, not as basketball players, but as men. Because first and foremost, they're men. And I don't know the percentage, I'm not going to even quote it, but the majority of them are Black men. And I think this is what is driving everything. And on top of that, I commend the teammates that are not Black for standing with their brothers.
Yeah.
These are the things we have to look at. Okay, we focus on a lot of negative, but we have to focus on the positive. Also, this is happening during a pandemic, okay? And it took this, okay, for everybody to focus on what is going on with Black men today in order to just basically, shed the light on the whole situation. It's been going on, but we all had to sit our behind down, focus on what was going on in front of us right now, because the main thing that people do right now is watch TV, the news and sports and things like that. And it takes this in order for some kind of reform to happen and just to bring, just a light on the situation. And again, I commend everybody that's taking a stand. Even me and Chris were talking about earlier, Kenny Smith, longtime Rocket. He's on TNT with Shaq and Charles Barkley, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He basically was on the show today and he had to excuse himself. He said, you know what? He has to take a stand with the players. He cannot sit on that set while his, he's a former player and, his brothers in basketball are not playing. He basically said, look, I can't sit here and do this while they're protesting. I support them. So unfortunately I have to leave. And they did it in a very classy way. And I commend them for that. Again, it's hard for one person. So when you see, a collective like this, it's definitely awesome. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, very well said. I mean, and when you when you think of players, who are making millions of dollars, right? Who many would consider privileged, right? If police pull over LeBron, they know it's LeBron and So why are you concerned? But for them to say, you know what, first of all, that's not guaranteed to be true.
No.
But it's here I'm saying it's bigger than basketball. And for them to just have the thinking to say, you know what, we can make a powerful stance here, not just for the sake of making a stand, but this can actually make a change. This can actually result in those cops getting arrested, because like y'all have said, the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, I guarantee you he has connections with the governor and the lieutenant governor.
Of course.
And, he has to in that circle. And so if that man start losing a bunch of money because his players decided they're not going to play, and so now he has to get on the phone and talk to his to his contacts. And yeah, I can definitely see a path by which this can result in them, for one, the Wisconsin legislature right now, they're on break, right? So they're all, doing their own thing. So
after Labor Day,
this be a catalyst to getting them together, getting the Attorney General to, do whatever, or getting the police department to act. I mean, would it be so crazy for them? Right now, the cop who shot, Blake, I mean, he's on administrative leave. That's a paid vacation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, would it be that hard for them to say, you know what, you are at least fired, right? You with no pay,
Exactly.
you are fired. And then for the Attorney General, for them to do what they need to do and bring charges on
pending the investigation. Yeah.
Exactly. So and so I think when we look back on this, we will see, you know, if he does ultimately get arrested, that this was a major step towards that happening, because this was going to the protests were going to go on for a few more days. You know, the Republican National Convention going on, and then, you know, there'll be some violence and some uprising, and then it would go away, and then people would move on to the next shooting, right? But you know, by the players making that stand and say, you know what, we're not going to just sit up here and hoop and entertain these people. You know, a lot of those cops in Milwaukee are sitting around cheering. You know, they're probably Bucks fans too, watching this. So we just can't do it. It just doesn't feel right. And you know, I think it's just it's a major step. I'm you know,
really is.
I'm really proud of what they've done. Where it will lead to, I don't know. So, you know, and so this brings up some, you know, a post I saw early on which really pissed me off. And this is from you know, from two black men who are saying that this was the point. It's not going to make a difference. You know, they're just going to skip one game, and you know what it's not going to. If they skip the whole season, then that may do something. But skipping one game, not going to do anything. And then, you know, just all this nonsense. And you know, I'm like, and so I was like, if you just think back on, you know, people don't really realize the sacrifices that were made for them to live the lives that they live.
No.
So, you know, like the Montgomery bus boycott. Think of how inconvenient that must have been for people who take the bus to work every day.
To walk.
For you to walk to work every day. And this boycott wasn't, you know, a couple weeks. The Montgomery bus boycott was 381 days.
Yeah.
You know, so some people may say, you know, because I heard somebody say, oh, well, you know, the NBA, they don't have anything to do with, why are they punishing the NBA by not playing? So I guess some people back in the 60s probably were saying, you know, the Montgomery bus company, they're not setting dogs on us and all that, so why should they pay? You know, but it's a matter of realizing your platform and what you can do with what your platform is. My platform isn't LeBron's platform. I can't do what he can do. I can do what I can do. And so, like, if everybody just realize that, let me focus on doing what I can do to make the situation better, then we can really bring about some positive change. Every senator, every police officer, every police chief, if people just saying, what can I do in my position to make the situation better? That's what these brothers did. They said, I hoop for a living, but you know what? People pay millions of dollars because I hoop for a living. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to dangle these millions of dollars in front of them, and we'll see what kind of change I can bring about. So, you know, I mean, it's a proud moment. I hope, you know, it leads, you know, to these murderers being prosecuted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Actually, any more comments from Dubai?
Well, you know, a lot of people have difficulty understanding that change takes time. Nothing is going to happen tomorrow when you get up. All cops are going to be humane, or they're just going to treat everybody the same. That's never going to happen, right? It takes some time. Just as how our civil rights took time to develop. You know, you're just voting took some time. Women voting took some time. Your ability to go to the store without being harassed took some time, right? You just have to accept that nothing is going to happen overnight. As you said, everybody have to do their little part to push it in the right direction, right? Some people, I mean, especially with this new generation, they want to see stuff happen so quickly. And, you know, one of the things my grandfather always
microwave
say,
mentality.
Right, nothing meaningful happens overnight. Nothing. Because the second it can happen overnight, it's the same way it can stop overnight. right? You have to watch the gradual change in this. And it starts from people being very, very brave. I think the NBA players are brave because they have decided that I'm going to put my ego aside, that I have to play and make a lot of money, and it's not going to affect me. Lose some money just to make society a little better. That takes some bravery.
Yep.
Definitely.
Right.
And you also have to think about, I don't mean to cut you off, Switch, but you always got to think about the timing of it. This isn't a regular game. Okay. These are the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is what leads up to the championship. Okay. This is what dictates, okay, who's going to go from the East, West. Okay. So it is a big deal, but go ahead.
And that is why I was happy to see it, because we know most of these players have big egos and everybody wants to be champion. Yep. And if they can put that aside and say, hey, greater things bigger. Are happening out there, right? We need to do something. Anything we can do, we need to do it. And right now, America is watching us. So now we have the platform. We have the mic. We can say something and let people who probably wouldn't pay attention to it hear us, right? We're serious about this. And that is why I commend them. I'm telling you, I was so happy. I was there posting under every video that I saw, you know, they were talking about it. I was like, this is great, because it's not easy to set aside your $100,000 a week, right? Just to say something about our people being murdered on the street.
$100,000 a dribble.
But,
you know, so I saw, like, a friend of mine who played basketball at Texas. He made a post yesterday. You know, I'm saying, it's like, you know what? If you really want to do something, I bet the Bucks won't boycott. You know, he was saying, I don't remember exactly how he phrased it, but saying, if the Bucks boycott, and then it put ... never mind, that will never happen. And you know, and I when I saw it, I was like, well, you know, that's not really that. You know, I was thinking that's really not the point. The Bucks, you're not going to really fault them for it. You know, but you know, so I went back to that post as soon as I saw this. I was like, look what happened. And you know, he was like, man, that's, you know, powerful. And but you know, when he said that, I never in a million years thought it was even remotely possible. I didn't think there was any way that would happen. And I wouldn't fault them for it. I didn't connect the two. Like, these players obviously connected their power with this moment. I didn't, you know, but so big up to them, man. And, you know, so yeah, as we're talking about earlier, how, you know, police, you know, treat, you know, people differently, you know, black versus white, you know, how they allow these white boys to fight them, basically chase them, and they do nothing. So in the protest last night, I saw that video this morning. You saw this white boy, you know, a teenage white boy, running down the street of Kenosha, Wisconsin, with an AR-15. Apparently, he had just shot somebody, so that's why he was being chased. I didn't see when the initial shooting, but he's running down the street with this gun, and so people are trying to stop him, and you know, people are going at him, and they knock him down. And while he's on his back with his AR-15, he starts letting off shots, and he kills 2 people. Right?
Wow!
And he kills 2 people, and gets up and keeps running. And, you know, all of the bystanders are screaming, he just shot 2 people. He just shot 2 people. And police are coming the other direction. Then now listen, and he's still walking with the gun on him. And he put his hands up. And the police drive right by him. He's in the middle of the street with a gun, with people talking about he just shot people. Police walk right by him and do.
He's the right color.
Exactly. You know, so and you know, now he was arrested today. This happened last night. But you know, his face is all over social media and the videos all over social media. This fool drove from Illinois. He's from Illinois. He drove from Illinois to go to Wisconsin with his gun for who? For what reason? Other than
that exact reason.
To
Exactly
shoot
what he
people.
did.
he was a future school shooter, and who just he found this as an opportunity. But he's alive and well today after shooting people in the middle of the street, and people point them out to police, and police do nothing, absolutely nothing. So this is America, where in Michigan you have some protesters who don't want to wear a damn mask storm the state capitol with AR-15s and that walk into the Capitol with their guns, to the point where the legislature canceled the session. Because, so imagine, if you will, a bunch of black people walking into the state Capitol with guns, and for one, police do nothing, and then the legislature responds by canceling the session.
They wouldn't have made it past Highway 6.
Oh man! Anyway.
They wouldn't have made it through the door with a walkie-talkie. Much less.
Yeah. So this is where we live. This is America. You know what I mean? So this was
Well, this was a hell of a night. Yeah. I'm drained. Yeah.
So, I'm exhausted, man. I am. Like I said, this stuff just it weighs on you, man. Look at more. Final thoughts. Give us some hope.
Man, the only thing I have to say tonight is, man, arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Period.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is it. That's all I got for y'all tonight.
Yep. Special.
Well, for me, people change only come through time, right? Focus on the prize. Keep hope alive, right? Without hope, we will not make it.
Yeah, to go back to Texas point, Breonna Taylor, that shooting has not gotten sufficient coverage. We can't talk about the reasons why, it just hasn't. For this young lady to be asleep in her own bed and police come and kick down the door, saying, I don't know what the excuse I make.
They had the wrong house.
They had the wrong.
They admitted
it.
Of course.
They had the wrong house looking for somebody else. And, her boyfriend, bust off some shots, as anybody would. You in your house, somebody kicking in your door, and no knock warrant.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then this lady's in her bed and gets killed, and nothing has happened, and probably nothing will happen. Kentucky have a basketball team to, I guess the college team, to really do anything about it, and not to really get into the the political angle of this. So Kentucky's Attorney General, a black man, a black Republican. So with all that's going on about not arresting Breonna Taylor, who did the Republicans decide that they want to give a speech at their convention? The same black man.
None other.
Anyway, I don't know what it will take in that situation. But let's keep hope alive, do whatever. I don't know what kind of mobilization effort we can do. Again, we can all do our part to just get the information out there, keep the story alive. And I again, when we talk about what the NBA and the WNBA, they are using their platforms for that as well.
Yes, I hear them talk about the
Breonna Taylor a lot
all the time. Yeah,
because her name is being forgotten about, and it's not just that it's being forgotten about, is that nothing is really happening towards it. But they are doing their part. Every time you broadcast our games, you're going to hear about Breonna Taylor. We're going to talk about her until something is done. So we still, fighting for justice for Breonna Taylor and all these other unjust murders. For Jacob Blake, NBA players, big up yourselves. You changed the story in ways that hopefully will lead to the firing and the arrest of these people. So this was an exhausting reasoning, but
it was. One more thing, and like I was saying is, it takes a lot of courage, to take a stand, and for those people that just know about Muhammad Ali in name, go do some research on Muhammad Ali and see what kind of stand he took, how far he was willing to go to uphold what he knew was right. This man was willing to basically halt his career in the highlight of his career, in order to take a stand. So I do commend, the NBA, WNBA, the MLB. But again, it takes a lot of courage for one person to take a stand.
Yeah. So Muhammad Ali is, I'm the greatest. His greatness is not in his boxing. What Tech's talking about right now, if you think of the 1960s, you can kind of transfer your mind back to what was going on in the country at the time with the Vietnam War, with the racial strife going on. For a black man in his prime of his career to say, you know what, I'm not going to the Viet Cong have done nothing to me. I catch more hell from these white people here in my own country. Why am I going overseas to go and fight these other people? And that comes with consequences for your career, for your bank account, for all sorts of other things. So again, it's a topic we've covered on this before. Mm-hmm. Sports can make a change, can be influential in driving societal change, and and to go beyond that, we're not all athletes, so we don't have that platform. But think about the platform you do have. You have a platform in whatever you do. We here on social media, we have a platform, right? So just think of how, and only you can answer, only you at home watching this can really answer that question of what can I do with my position and my platform to drive change, in regard to the things that are of interest to me. So anyway, that's why we have this Just Reasoning show. There are going to be issues affecting our community, our Black community, our Caribbean community. And so this is, we're here to amplify the voice of our community and bring these issues that need more focus and more attention and just bring it down to a real level. That's what we do here. We just reason. That's what we do. So thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. www.justreasoning.com. We will recap this there. Also, check us out on Facebook. Look up My Soul Rebel page or the Just Reasoning group, and talk about things that you want us to cover as well. There's a lot of big things going on, so we just want to elevate those issues. So thank you for tuning in once again. Bless up, family. One love.
Yeah. Go Rockets.
Season done, brother.